Have you ever wondered, what if spiritual practice wasn't just about meditation and chanting, but about mastering knowledge that could help others, influence society, and uplift humanity? Have you ever felt that becoming more awakened meant stepping away from the world, instead of transforming it from within? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating and often overlooked teaching from the Buddhist tradition, the 5 sciences, also known as the 5 great fields of knowledge. These are not merely academic disciplines, they are the pillars of enlightened action. The Buddha himself declared that in order to be fully qualified to guide others toward liberation, a bodhisattva must master these 5 sciences. In other words, wisdom is not enough, compassion is not enough to truly help the world. We must become skilled, well-rounded, deeply trained, and capable of using every tool available to serve the greater good. So, what are these 5 sciences? Why did the Buddha call them necessary? And how can you start practicing them in your daily life, no matter your background or belief? Let's walk the path together and unlock a vision of spirituality that is not passive or limited, but fast, dynamic, and deeply engaged with the world. First, imagine this: a healer, a poet, a philosopher, an engineer, and a teacher walk into a monastery. It sounds like the beginning of a joke, but in the Buddhist view of mastery, these 5 roles represent essential facets of awakened life. The 5 sciences are the science of language, the science of logic, the science of medicine, the science of craftsmanship, the science of inner knowledge. Let's begin with the science of language. Why does language matter so much on the spiritual path? Because language is the vehicle of wisdom. It's how teachings are transmitted, how hearts are opened, and how misunderstandings are healed. The Buddha himself was called the perfect speaker because he could tailor his words to every audience, from kings to beggars, from scholars to farmers. The science of language includes grammar, rhetoric, poetry, and even storytelling. It teaches us to speak with clarity, precision, and empathy. In your life, think about the times your words caused healing or harm. Words can lift or crush. It can confuse or clarify. Mastering language is mastering the bridge between minds. Next is the science of logic. This is the art of reasoning, with seeing the truth clearly, free from bias and confusion. Logic trains the mind to distinguish valid arguments from deception. In spiritual practice, this prevents blind belief and encourages critical inquiry. A great teacher is not one who demands obedience, but one who invites examination. Logic helps you ask, is this teaching valid? Is this conclusion sound? Is this behavior rooted in principle or in ego? In modern life, logic is the compass that guides decision-making. It helps you cut through noise, see patterns, and act with clarity. The third science of medicine. You might think, I'm not a doctor, but the Buddhist view of medicine is broad. To heal others physically, emotionally, or mentally is to practice this science, knowing how the body works, how the mind affects the body, and how compassion speeds recovery. This is part of the science. The Buddha was known as the great physician not because he prescribed pills, but because his teachings addressed the root of suffering. In your life, how often have you been a healer? Maybe you comforted a friend. Maybe you gave advice that helped someone feel whole again. Every act of healing is a part of this path. Fourth, the science of craftsmanship. This includes all forms of art, design, engineering, and manual skills. Why does this matter in a spiritual context? Because form carries spirit. Temple is more than stone. Painting can convey awakening. Structure can inspire peace. Craftsmanship is the ability to bring beauty, order, and function into the world. When your hands create something that uplifts others, you are walking the bodhisattva path. And finally, the science of inner knowledge. This is the crown of the 5. It includes philosophy, meditation, ethics, and metaphysics. It's the direct understanding of mind and reality. But it doesn't stand alone. Without the other sciences, inner knowledge can become abstract, disconnected from the needs of the world. Imagine a spiritual master who can meditate for weeks but cannot explain their insights, or who teaches wisdom but ignores the suffering of the sick. That is incomplete. The Buddha's message was clear: mastery of these 5 sciences empowers one to benefit beings fully. It turns compassion into capability, insight into impact. Let's make this personal. Have you ever thought your spiritual growth made you less relevant to the world? That as you practiced mindfulness or studied teachings, you became less interested in business, politics, or creativity? This teaching reverses that idea. It tells you, the more awake you become, the more skillful you must become, because awakening is not withdrawal, it's engagement with wisdom. True spiritual path doesn't lead to isolation, leads to mastery, not for ego, but for service. Let's look at an example. Woman named Mai studied Buddhism for years. He meditated daily, attended retreats, and read ancient texts. But in her workplace, she felt powerless. He couldn't express ideas clearly. He lacked influence. She felt disconnected from worldly skills. And she encountered the teaching of the 5 sciences. It changed everything. He began studying communication. He learned to write better, speak with clarity, and engage with empathy. She took a class in design to better present her ideas. She even learned basic health practices to support her team. Within a year, she became a pillar in her company, not because she became more worldly, but because she became more whole. Her spirituality had finally taken form, not just in her silence, but in her speech, her work, and her service. This is what the 5 sciences offer us: a roadmap to integrated mastery. They remind us that spirituality is not separate from daily life, it is expressed through it. And in today's world, this is more important than ever. We need teachers who can speak with clarity, healers who understand both mind and body, elders who create with ethics, eaters who think critically, artists who uplift consciousness. You don't have to master all 5 in one lifetime, but you can begin. If you're drawn to words and study language, if you love logic, sharpen your reason. If you're nurturing, explore healing. If you're creative, build with care. If you're introspective, deepen your inner knowledge. And remember, every skill you develop is not just for you. It's for the world you touch. So ask yourself, what can I learn that will help others? How can I become not just wise, but capable? This is the path of the Buddhist often, not just to feel compassion, but to become skilled in its expression. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this teaching opened your eyes or inspired you, please share in the comments. Which of the 5 sciences speaks to you most right now? What are you learning or planning to learn to become more of service in your life? Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and join our community if you'd like to support the creation of more content like this. Until next time, learn deeply, serve wisely, and let your mastery be your message to the world.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the soulmate test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now. http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.